Hey guys, welcome back. If you can hear thumping, Bennett is in his little exerciser upstairs and he gets really super excited and happy. He just jumps and he's super happy and excited. Today I thought that I would try my hand at doing a half face of drugstore products and half a face of more high-end products. And that's what we've got going on here. So this half of my face is all drugstore. This half is all higher end brands. As you may have seen in the thumbnail for this video, I have tallied up the cost of each side of my face if you were to go out and buy all of these products straight from the store. There is a little bit of a mix of Canadian and US prices because some things I wasn't able to find online for Canadian prices, so it's not a perfect science, but you get the general idea of what we're working with here. So on the drugstore half of my face, the total of the products that I used is about $151. On the other side, we're looking at $589. So there is quite a difference. And from what I can see, it looks kind of the same, especially the lipsticks. I was quite surprised that I have two different lipsticks on and they are basically exact dupes for each other. What I thought that I would do though is go through the list of the products that I did use and just tell you really quickly which one I prefer if I in fact do have a preference. And before we do that, I'll let you know I have had my foundation and concealer and all that on for about 5 hours, and then the rest of eyeshadow, lipstick, all that for about 4. And when I look at it, I can't really see much of a difference, to be honest. Like, the foundations are holding up equally well. The highlighter is a lot more prominent on the drugstore side than it is over on, shall we call it the Sephora side, the fancy side. Lipsticks are holding up equally well. I have ABH on one side and Wet n Wild on the other. And the eyeshadows, the drugstore side is frankly more vibrant than the Urban Decay side. I used the Naked 3 on this one here. So I think the take-home message is that if you find something that works for your skin and you enjoy the formulation of it at the drugstore, you really don't need to look outside of there. There are some great drugstore options out there. So let's go through, I can hear him bouncing. Let's go through the list of the products that I used, and I will just let you know very quickly which one I prefer, or else we could be here all day because there's like a million products going on. So for primer, on this side I used the AOA Wonder Skin, that's from Shop Miss A. It costs $1. And on this side I used the Becca Backlight Filter Primer. And there's like a $45 spread between the two products, and frankly, spend the dollar. Like, really, it doesn't smell as nice as the other one, but the effect is basically the same. For color corrector, I used Pixie, the peach color corrector on this side, and I used the Benefit Erase Paste on this one, and I really have no preference between the two. I think they perform equally well. For foundation, I have the Physicians Formula Healthy Foundation on this side, and on this side I have the YSL Ink, Matte Ink, something Ink, ink foundation. I can't remember the name, and it's all in French on the bottle, and I am not going to subject you to my attempts at speaking French. I will say I do prefer the YSL. The price is significantly higher, but I like the finish of it better. I like the feel of it better. I feel it's just more lightweight than the Healthy Foundation. In terms of how they look, they both perform fairly equally well, but I just like the feel of the YSL one better. For concealer, again, I used a Physicians Formula product, and it's the Full Coverage Concealer, the Insta Ready. And on this side, I used the Kat Von D Lock-It Concealer. They both perform equally well. I really don't have a preference between the two of them. You could save yourself a few dollars there by looking at the Physicians Formula, although the Physicians Formula range is utter crap. I think there are 3 choices, and if you're anything deeper than a medium, you're SOL. So if you don't have like my skin tone, or like one shade lighter, one shade darker, go to Kat Von D. And for the face, I set it all down with the Maybelline Loose Fit Me Powder on this side and the Laura Mercier Loose Powder over on this side. I can't really tell the difference. I really can't. So for the $40 difference between the two products, I would definitely go with the Maybelline. They look the same. They feel the same. This one is going to save you a ton of money. Contour is not really a fair comparison here because I used the NYX high definition blush in taupe on this side, and then I used a contour kit over here, so the price difference, you're getting 3 products in that one, so the price difference kind of makes sense. They both perform equally well though, so this one's Smashbox and this one is NYX, and either one of them, I reach for them continuously and I just sort of interchange them whenever I see fit, just whatever I happen to reach for first. For bronzer, I used Physicians Formula, again, the Butter Bronzer on this side, and I used the Too Faced Milk Chocolate Soleil on this one. They both perform equally well, they both smell good, and it's really going to come down to personal preference and where your price point is for those kind of products. For blush, I used Milani Luminoso on this side, and I used the Papa Don't Peach from Too Faced over here. They're nearly identical. They really do have the same color, the same amount of shimmer to them, the same amount of pigmentation really, so you can save a ton of coin by going with Milani over the Too Faced one. Then for highlighter, I used ColourPop Flexitarian over here. That one will run you about $8. And I used the Becca highlighter in Pearl on this side, and that one's about $46, so big spread. And I find that this one performs better, frankly. I like the application of Becca easier because it is a true powder, whereas this one is a little bit fussier to deal with, but the lasting power is a lot greater with the ColourPop product. To set all of that in place, I used the Rimmel Fix and Set, Fix and Go on this side, and I used Urban Decay All Nighter on this side. Interchangeable as far as I'm concerned. The Rimmel actually smells better. The other one has a better mist to it. It's a finer spray on the Urban Decay side, but it's really not much of a difference there in terms of the overall lasting power and the ability to sort of dampen down those powders so that I don't look cakey. For brows, I use the AOA Studio, it's sort of like the Gimme Brow, whatever the hell it's called, brow something or other, Go Brow. And then on this side, I used the Arbonne Tinted Brow Cream. I'm going to give it to Arbonne only because I like the wand better, but they have the same feel to the brows, and my brows are sort of locked in place on both sides. And the $1 item is actually really well pigmented. It's just the brush is bigger, so the precision's not there, so I would give it to the Arbonne for that one. I used the CoverGirl True Naked palette on this side and the Urban Decay Naked 3 on this side. They're not exact dupes of each other, but there is a lot of crossover, and there are some tones between the two of them that look very similar. I have to say though, the CoverGirl performs better. The powders, they're a lot creamier. Even the shimmer ones have a lot more of that sort of buttery texture to them. They don't get powdery. They don't create fallout, whereas with the Urban Decay, you really got to work on it and you really got to build up the pigmentation. And for the life of me, like if I lean in and you can see sort of how reflective and bright and metallic this eye looks as compared to this one, I could not build this one up to match the intensity of this side. I tried, I wet them both with setting spray, and this is the best I could get out of it. They are both performing well and they're not fading away or sort of bleeding into each other, but I would reach for the CoverGirl over the Urban Decay, frankly. On this side, I used the Essence Extra Long Lasting Eyeliner Pen for obviously liquid. And I used the ColourPop Cream Gel Eyeliner in Swerve for my waterline. In comparing the two of them, this pencil is still present, but the liquid liner is starting to fade, especially on this outer part where the wing starts. On this side, I used the Stila Stay All Day liquid liner, and I used, what pencil did I use? Oh, the Tarte Sex Kitten for my waterline in here. It is still there, but they're basically equal, so spend $5 instead of $24. And for the liquid liner, this one is definitely holding up a lot better than the Essence did, so I would put my money towards the Stila over the Essence. And then finally on the eyes, I used the Stila Huge Extreme Mascara on this side, and I used the L'Oreal Lash Paradise on this side. They look almost identical as far as I can tell. I have one little flake of mascara here, and I have one little flake of mascara here. So equal footing. They look basically the same. Like if I lean in, my lashes look the same. So again, save yourself the money and go with the L'Oreal. And then finally for lipsticks, I have the Wet n Wild Liquid Catsuit on this side in the shade Oh My Dolly, and on this side I have the ABH Liquid Lipstick in Rio, and they look identical, and they have held up equally well. They're both starting to break down a bit now. Like I said, I have had them on for about 4 hours, so I'm not surprised by that. The Wet n Wild did take a little bit longer to dry down, but nothing significant. Like we're talking maybe an extra like 10 minutes-ish, but both of them are transfer proof. Both of them are comfortable on the lips, and I've gotten a good amount of wear time out of them. They're both vibrant. They're not streaky or patchy. They're both matte. If I look up close, and only because I know to look for a difference, I can see like a very slight shade differentiation between them, but if I didn't know I was wearing two different lipsticks, it never would even occur to me. So there it is, guys. I have some drugstore items that I prefer more. I have some higher end products that I think perform better. It all comes down to personal preference. A lot of these less expensive brands are really getting in the game and really producing some great quality products. So never feel like you have to go to Sephora, especially if you're just getting into makeup. The drugstore is not cheap makeup by any stretch. There are some excellent products there. Anyways, guys, this was just a fun little video. I just wanted to give my hand to it. It's certainly not a novel concept. There are no end to these kind of videos out there, but now you've seen it from me. I encourage you to give it a try. Try some of your more expensive makeup against some of your less expensive makeup and see which ones you really do sort of prefer, keeping the name aside. Sometimes we like stuff just because of the packaging or just because of the name. I am totally guilty of that. Packaging especially just sucks me right in. But it's when it's on your face over a few hours time, you can really see how it performs, how it applies, how it feels. That's when you really get a good sense of what is truly valuable in your collection. Anyways, guys, that's going to wrap it up. Thank you for taking the time to watch, and I will see you in my next video. Until then, just be a decent human being. Bye for now.